Welcome back! It's part 4 of The Kid at the Back with Lucy and Evie.
Hello, hello.
So we left off with Crow asking us to follow him somewhere. We don't know where. And the options are take his hand or take the arm. So that's where we're at.
Oh, for some reason I thought he had asked us to the ball. I didn't realize he was just asking us to go somewhere with him.
Nope, for now he's just asking us to follow him somewhere. So
Alrighty.
see. I wanted to point out I never clicked on this, and I want to click on it now because
I thought that was the menu.
I had a little sneak peek. Do you want me to open it?
Yes. Oh.
Clicked it by accident while you were gone, and this makes me think that these two are romanceable. Because, I mean...
Uh-oh. We've got choices to make.
So, ooh, I'm nervous now. Because that means... I'm assuming this means we're more on Crow's. Because he's got 3, and he's got 2. I know, sweetheart. So, yeah. Shall we proceed?
Yes.
Alright, what are we doing? Are we taking his hand? Are we taking his arm? What is more intimate in your mind?
I'm all willing to just follow him, I'll be honest. I mean, I want to get to know him. We're not committing to anything. We're just following him, seeing what he wants from us.
But are we touching his hand or his arm?
Oh, we'll go with his arm. That doesn't seem as intimate, but
Okay.
sort of intimate.
Is it awkward? Wait, though. I'm imagining this. If I reached my hand out to you, like, take my hand, and then you were like, let me grab your arm.
How I see it is, for anybody that doesn't know, I play Genshin, so how I see it is I kind of think of Zhongli, how he would offer his arm maybe, and you would, like, take it. I see it as a gentlemanly thing, so he's offering his hand, and it's kind of just like you're getting up close to him and holding onto his arm.
Alright, let's take his arm then. You didn't take his outstretched hand, but rather boldly wrapped your arm around his, earning a look of surprise from his azure eyes. Ooh, he looks pleased. He did not question you on the matter, but a wide smile made its way to his features while a slight blush dusted his cheeks. He holds onto your arm tight and leads the both of you away from the school grounds. I wonder if we're locked in now. By the time you and Crow made it to the park, it was already sundown and stars slowly started painting the sky. Is this the place you were trying to lead me to, Crow? Not quite yet. Come here. You follow him through a thicket of thick bushes, surprised to see stony stairs. Though a bit run down, it still seems sturdy to step foot on. Looking up, you see it leads somewhere above. You and Crow make your way up the stony stairs, some red and orange leaves coloring the steps as you and him avoid a few puddles from the rain this morning. We're here! Come, it's a sight to behold! Aw, that's pretty.
Wow.
Taking one last step, you see Crow admiring whatever was beyond him, his smile bright as his eyes twinkle like the stars above. Your eyes went wide in awe upon seeing the scenery before you, replicating the one Crow has on his face. Not once did you take into consideration the idea of sightseeing within the city. Everything felt unfamiliar, intimidating even. You couldn't blame yourself for feeling so distressed about the idea of traveling, especially since you had no one else within the city to guide you. But gazing at the sea of lights that stretched out before you made you realize that you have been missing much of what the city has to offer. Looking farther ahead, you take notice of a tall tower decorated with bright neon pink lights. A little bit to the right is a movie theater next to the mall. The rows of other buildings with multicolored lights seemed endless. The more you scan the area, the more you see unfamiliar places that you didn't know existed. Your moment of silence while admiring the city view was interrupted by the sound of rustling grass. You turn around, finding the source of the sound. Crow has made himself comfortable lying on the ground under an old tree. You see his backpack leaning on his trunk. Aw, that's pretty. You turn your back from the city and walk to where Crow lay, deciding to keep him company. His gaze on the starry sky shifts to you as you sit down beside him, and a hopeful smile grows on his face. Judging from your face all lighting up, you like this place, huh? Here to join me? Accepting his invitation, you give Crow a slight nod that brought joy to his eyes. You stretch a bit and lay on your back right next to him, your fingers barely touching. You and Crow look at the night sky. You observe how the stars twinkle as if the rain from the morning never happened. Wait, wouldn't the grass be wet? I'm not trying to be that person, but...
Yeah, that'd be a little bit uncomfortable.
He's got, like, wet. He's got, like, damp head. I'm sorry.
Just thinking about the mud.
He's like, oh, have you look at the stars? And we're like, Crow, you're completely drenched, man. It's pretty, though. I like it.
He looks pretty.
He does, yeah. How did you manage to find this place? You tilt your head to look at him, and he gives you a closed-eyed chuckle before his twinkling gaze meets yours. I take it that you've never heard of Lily's Myth, have you, Boofus? Lily's Myth? Crow points up the old tree that stood above you, then returns his gaze to the stars. They say that this tree that the humans came in contact with was blessed by the gods that guard this land. This very tree here used to bear multiple fruits. They say that they never rot and are free for anyone to take. Or so what the popular interpretation says anyway. There are other versions of the myth? Nope, I'm assuming that's not supposed to... Crow's not saying that. Crow shrugs his shoulders. Moving his gaze from the sky back to the tree, he stares at it as if trying to decipher something just by the mere look of it. There are other versions, yes. Some say that fruits are actually poisonous. Others say it's only meant for the gods and no human must take from it lest they be cursed. That sounds quite gruesome. It's no wonder they would rather use the lighter version of the myth. Crow lets out a low chuckle at your statement, nodding a bit, as if agreeing with you. I guess that might be one of the reasons. Hey, Boofus. He pauses before speaking again. You perk an eyebrow at him. Yeah? This seems like a silly question. No, lay it on me. Tell me what it is. Do you believe in gods? This question caught you by surprise. You never thought of Crow as a religious type, more so be interested in gods. Or maybe he's just curious by the idea of them. This may be the best moment to know for sure. Okay. If it was me, I'd say I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if... I feel like if we... it depends, because I have a feeling if we agree, we're sort of locking in with him a bit more. Although we're very locked in already in some ways, so...
I guess here's what we want to do. Do we want to lock in now completely, or do we want to keep towing the line? Because we have one more chance to kind of back out from Crow and keep tiptoeing between the two.
I'd say let's go Crow this round, just because we're already quite deep with Crow, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're already quite heavily on his side, and then next run we'll do a full soul, and heartbreakingly just ignore our friend, I guess? I don't know.
Well, I feel like we could still make the choices that we did, but, like, right now, obviously, we had the choice to take his hand or take his arm.
But I'm curious, because you know how the very first choice we had was to go with him to lunch? I wonder, because we've met Soul now, if the other choices could have led us to Soul. See, that's what I'm nosy about. So
Okay.
Are we going to say we believe or not? I don't even know what he would prefer, to be honest. I don't know.
I want to say I do, but maybe by accident we'll end up not locking in because he doesn't actually believe. But the fact that he's bringing all this up makes me think he does.
All right, let's say for Boofus' sake, we do.
Okay.
I do. They are the very beings that blessed our lands and soil. Back in my hometown, we would go to worship in our village's patron goddess's church and pray for a good harvest. You recall your visits to the village temple with your father, being regulars you visited enough to the point where you became friends with some of those who resided within the church. Every time you dropped by to worship, you and your father would offer your healthiest crops to thank your patron. To thank for your I got it right the first time. You haven't gone to church in a while, probably because the city doesn't have a church for your patron deity. Your goddess had more followers near your village all the way to the south. Crow gives you a nod of understanding. How about you? Oops, sorry. How about you? Do you believe in gods? You turn to Crow, repeating the same question he asked you earlier. He scans your face, your eyes, your nose, then your lips. Ooh, okay, we're doing a full face scan here.
I believe in you.
You're my god now, Crow.
Mm-hmm.
His lingering gaze made you shrink back, your heart fluttering slightly. Crow seems to realize something to himself as he returns his attention to the stars above, as he returns his attention to the stars above, sighing. I don't. Oh my gosh.
Dang it.
So he's more like me then. Oh my gosh.
Can you see the heart thingy?
Yup. Wait, we lost one. Oh, really?
We lost one.
Interesting.
So I think that's a turn off for him then.
That's a turn off for him. That's fair. If it was me replying as myself, I would have said I don't, but we're trying to gauge. Now, what I'm thinking is, should we have a chaotic run then instead? Because clearly, okay, so we were at 5, now we're at 4, so we've done something to go against him. Fuck it. How about we say the first one's just sort of a chaotic run then? Sort of. I don't know what's going to happen if we do that.
We tried to lock into you, Crow. You didn't want it.
Alright. I don't. This surprises you, and Crow laughs at your visible shock and confusion. What? You didn't think I'd be a non-believer? If I have to be honest, no. Why so? You kind of dress like a priest.
That's true.
Crow's azure eyes grew wide as he broke out into one of the loudest laughs you've ever heard from him. He laughed so hard that he had to clench his stomach and wipe at the tear-stained corners of his eyes. He was still chuckling when he unbuttons the first 2 studs of his black polo, revealing more of his collarbone to you.
Oh.
You quickly avert your eyes, finding the tree's leaves to be very interesting this moment as you feel a familiar heat rush to your cheeks. How's that? Less formal. Okay, Crow, you're giving me a bit of whiplash here, a little bit of back and forth.
You know what you're doing.
For Poopy's sake, I can't say that name.
Ichabod.
Ichabod. It feels like I'm seeing a Victorian woman's ankles for the first.
That's funny.
Crow grins at your reaction. It took both of you a few more seconds of going back and forth with his teasing and you're reprimanding him before you finally calm down. The next few moments were spent with you pointing at the stars and Crow teaching you the constellations with a gentle whisper-like voice. You both fell silent, basking in the peace of the night. As the silence prolonged, Crow fell deep in thought. About today, Boofus, and about the guys. So we're moving to this conversation next, huh? I've got to be honest. Daryl put me up to this little hangout while I was feeling down in the dumps. I do think I have to thank him for forcing me and actually gave me the courage to talk to you after class. He lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding, refusing to meet your eyes. I don't know if I upset you by suddenly dragging you into this group. I didn't know if I upset it. Oh, I just don't know if I upsetted you by suddenly dragging you into this group. I probably should have told you about them a long time ago, huh? I'm sorry, Boofus. You bit your lip. You suspected that you might have upset Crow by making him think that you didn't like the group's presence at all. And that he's forcing you to bend to his will. I wouldn't say you know what it is? We don't really know his friends. One of them doesn't talk to us, the purple guy. Daryl is cool, but he's kind of in his own world. The blonde is a little tactless. Maybe it might not be intentional. And then the other girl, Jess, we didn't speak to. So we can't really have an opinion about his friends, right?
Yeah. I don't see that there was anything wrong with him, though, inviting us. And he gave us the option to back out if we didn't want to. Told us repeatedly, hey, you don't have to hang out if you feel uncomfortable. So I think he did it right. It's just, hey, I've got these friends here. You want to hang out with me and them? I want you to get to know them, and I want to hang out with you still. I don't know. I like the way he did it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. I just think there's not enough information to form an opinion yet. One thing to know about Crow is that he is never the type to demand, to control, to be king, to be a tyrant. You didn't do anything wrong, Crow. In fact, I should be the one to apologize. You speak up without thinking. Crow turns his head to look at you, his gaze swirling with confusion at your apology. I'm sorry for making you feel bad. I didn't mean to be upset, You swallow a lump in your throat, trying your best to hold the tears that were threatening to spill. I just thought you'd forget about me after... They're amazing people. Brittany's pretty. Daryl's a fun guy. Gio's so cool, and Jess is loyal. I know, right?
Mm.
They're a great group. And most importantly, you're amazing, Crow. You are all amazing, but not me.
You don't know anything about them.
I'm
Like,
just
yeah, she's pretty, but you don't know. Daryl's kind of the fun guy, but you don't know about Geo.
mm,
And you definitely don't know about Jess. She's kind of quiet.
I'm just not sure if I could ever be part of the group. You were always hidden in the shadows no matter how much you tried to fit in. You were never to be considered. People treated you like someone to toss away, someone to use. You are worth nothing but an extra. That's what she always tells you. You couldn't hold it back anymore. A sob escapes your lips, your vision slowly blurring as you feel wet droplets of tears finally sliding down your cheeks from your eyes. For a moment you saw panic in Crow's expression, seemingly not expecting you to burst into tears. He reaches out to hold your hand. And suddenly you feel a pair of arms circling around you as he pulls you closer to him, letting you sob on his shoulder. Aww. He says nothing while rubbing a hand along your back, allowing you to cry, not caring about his clothes getting wet from your tears. Once you calm down, Crow rests his hand on your back, not letting you out of his embrace. Aww, my heart. You're amazing, Boofus. I'm sorry, I never get to tell you that no matter how many times I've thought it. Just couldn't seem to find the words. But you're amazing in your own way, Boofus. You may not know it, but you're beautiful, you're funny, you're quite a phenomena. You could feel vibrations coming from his chest from the chuckle he emits. Heck, you're the funniest person I know. All I'm saying, Boofus, is that you're amazing. You have no idea how much tears you've shed tonight. Sometimes he thinks it's silly and childish to cry over what was probably a trivial matter to some, but the urge to sob returned after hearing those words from... Yeah, that would make me cry more too.
Yeah.
Do you want me to call you the Amazing Spider-Man just to prove that you're amazing? What? That you are amazing? I think that would make me laugh. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. That made you giggle a bit as you wipe your tear-stained cheeks. With whatever strength you could muster, you slowly pulled away and lifted yourself up. Oh, this is so cute! You sit yourself up, hovering over Crow. And there you see the very same man that made you cry by literally doing nothing. His braid came loose, you didn't know when, but his hair pulled around his head. This is so pretty! I love it. Crow stares up at you with serene eyes, remaining silent as a gentle smile plastered on his face. There was nothing but the moon illuminating his tender features, yet to your vision he seemed to glow. He is absolutely beautiful. He is a beautiful man.
He's very beautiful.
How you wish you could blame everything on him. If you could, you tell him that he's the reason for all the unnecessary feelings swelling in your chest. You tell him exactly how good and bad it feels, the heartaches and butterflies fluttering about your stomach. You want to blame him, but you can't. Oh my gosh!
Ooh.
I wasn't expecting this. Okay, is it time for page 2? It's time for page 2.
So, I know that this is a bad place to stop, but sorry, gotta call it here. Whether we're gonna hug him or kiss him, we'll discuss it in the next video.
Ooh la la, I can't wait. See you next time.
Bye bye.